Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Directors meeting for July 18th, 2017. I would like to welcome everyone that's here with us in attendance tonight as we conduct the city's business. Thank you for being here. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read the roll.
Director Hendricks, Director Richardson, Director Peck, Director Hines, Director Wright, Director Wyrick, Director Compuris, Director Fortson, Director Adcock, Vice Mayor Webb, Mayor Stodler.
Here. Let me call on Vice Mayor Kathy Webb for our invocation, please.
May we please begin with a moment of silence? We seek blessings as we begin work on the task before us. May we deliberate with wisdom and clear minds. Guide our words that they promote goodwill and the common good, regardless of disagreement on the issues. We ask blessings on all those residents gathered here and all who live here. Keep our residents and those who protect them out of harm's way as we begin to heal from the violence and work to end it. May we have compassion for all who are suffering, regardless of the reason, and act with compassion in all we do. We're grateful for the freedom to assemble to do the work of the people. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. If you would, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the first item on our agenda is a presentation about Neighborhoods USA, our NUSA group, and I see a bunch of our folks in their appropriate shirts, part of our NUSA team. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello. This is an honor to be here. This wasn't supposed to be my duty today, but I'm stepping up to the plate. So first of all, I just want to acknowledge our mayor, Mayor Stodler, and the board, and to say that we're here this evening to thank you all for your support and encouragement to assist Little Rock Team NUSA to these Neighborhood USA conferences. We also want to thank our neighborhood associations and the community at large because they contribute their time and their money to assist us in raising funds as well. So again, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. And because of your leadership and our neighborhood associations, the Housing and Neighborhood Programs Leadership, Director Victor Turner, and our team, if Team NUSA from Little Rock, would you all please stand? Thank you. And with all of the support that we have, we've been able, in the year 2016-17, we held 3 successful fundraisers. We did raffles, a banquet, and a golf tournament. And with all the help, we were able to send 18 people to the conference. And we've already did our first fundraiser kickoff. We have tickets here, so get your wallets out, your cash, your ups, and we'll receive your money. At this time, we have scheduled to come up and share some of the things that we learned while we were there. Miss Tiffany Blackwell will come and talk to us about her tour, which was Gifford Park. Irma Peterson will come and present an overview of the workshops at the conference. And then I will come back up on behalf of Pam Powell and the Little Rock Team NUSA to introduce to you all our new board of directors. Excuse me, our new board member to NUSA.
Good evening. I am Tiffany Blackwell, and I have attended several of the NUSA conferences over the years. This year in Omaha, I had the pleasure of attending one of the tours. My tour was Gifford Park. Gifford Park is a historic neighborhood in Midtown Omaha, Nebraska. The Gifford Park Neighborhood Association was founded in 1988. Within this neighborhood association, there is Yates Community Center. Yates Community Center was a neighborhood elementary school before it closed, and it closed in 1999. There's a record number of immigrants and refugees that are attending Omaha public schools. Yates Community Center offers pre-K classes and serves hundreds of immigrants who arrive into Omaha from other countries such as Bhutan and Somalia every year. Sing-alongs, along with the pre-K classes, help the students transition into the life here in the U.S., in Omaha. While upstairs, their parents and other adults are learning to read, write, and talk. Yates offers conversational English, citizenship classes, job readiness, sewing classes where they learn to make bags, mittens, hats, and more. Hats and mittens are given to the families once they arrive because the majority of the immigrants are arriving from countries that have a much, much warmer climate than we have. So they're having a hard time to adjust when they arrive here. They're not prepared for the weather here. So this kind of helps them with their transition. Along with this, downstairs in their basement, they have basically a Goodwill. They have all kinds of clothing, household goods, and everything. So once these families arrive, they have nothing. So they have an opportunity to shop around for clothing. They're going to have to look for employment at some point. So they have clothing, everything they need to get started for their lives here. The center also provides computer classes, which learn where they're taught English and learning computer skills at the same time. The center provides support and all the resources that these families need once they arrive, because each family only has 3 months to find a job and able to sustain their own selves. So within that 3-month period, they're having to get used to our environment, for one, and then their children are learning, so they have to learn how to communicate with their children now on American soil and have to deal with our parenting skills and everything that we have to deal with on a daily basis that we already have. Well, they only have a short window of time in order to basically step up to the plate and be able to take care of their families and support their own. So Yates Community Center is a very good way, a very good resource for all those residents that need that assistance. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Irma Peterson. I am the president of Hope Neighborhood Association, and this is my 3rd trip with the NUSA group. I find it very encouraging to attend the NUSA conventions. We meet, this year there were 850 people from all over the United States and some outside the United States that have attended. The handout that I've given you, I'm going to run through it real quick, and then you take it and go through it and look at it closer when you have time. This is the beginning. The front page is the cover to the booklet, which was like 45 pages registration, so that you could understand everything that you needed to learn in order to participate. The mayor's message was part of it. On the 3rd page, there's a workshop tracks, and these are all the different tracks that you can take depending on what you want to understand during the conference. Then the next page, you have a conference at a glance, and this kind of tells you about you know, the time schedule for the conference and what's going on. There's not very little downtime. You're busy the whole time you're there. Then at the end, there's always a group of tours, and Tiffany just talked to you about the tour that she attended. I attended a different one. Omaha has a botanical garden, which is supposedly the best in the world, and they have a wonderful zoo that's supposed to be the best in the world. That's what they told us. So, you know, but we took different tours, and here's a list on the other page, Neighborhood Pride Tours, of all the different tours that you had a choice to take. It's left up to you. Then the next page is about the sponsors. You know, it's a very difficult thing to do every year. It's not biannually, it's every year. So these are the people who support it, and they tell us and promote their businesses because they've made it a success. And on the very last page, we talk about Birmingham for 2018. That's where we're all going next May, and it's going to be a wonderful trip. It would be great if you all could come up with some funds to help us go there. We'd love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Irma. Thank you, Irma.
At this time, I want to introduce our new NUSA board member, but before I do that, if you'll bear with me, I would like to present a little gift to Director Adcock. Director Adcock, we just want to say thank you. We miss you when you don't attend, so we wanted to let you know we didn't forget you.
What'd you get her?
You have to look in the box.
Oh, okay.
One other thing I want to mention, the president of the University Park Neighborhood Association, Pam Powell, she's supposed to be here tonight, but she had a conflict. So she asked me if I would make a request of the mayor for Team NUSA. You know, there are competitions at the conference every year. And one of those competitions has to do with e-newsletters, which our mayor has one called Monday Morning with the Mayor. And we want your permission to put you in the competition.
You've got it.
All right.
Be happy to. Be
All
honored.
right.
Be honored to be a part of Team NUSA
Thank
in that
you.
way.
Sandy Becker, would you come, please? We're going to ask him to say a few words, and then we'll get out the way. Thank you.
I think I have a time limit. I think I know almost everyone in the room. I have the honor of now serving effective October 1st for 3 years on the NUSA National Board of Directors. There was an election this year, and we all ran, and I'm one of the new board members. And so I am happy to represent Little Rock and Arkansas on the NUSA board. There are two. A young lady from Texarkana, Deanna, I think O'Malley, is also a representative of Arkansas. And I look forward to working with NUSA because NUSA is all about grassroots advocacy for neighborhoods. And basically teaching us how that we can learn from others, how things that work, things that don't work, and how that we can better work together between all the different groups, everything from city government to neighborhood groups to different governments, nonprofits, is a wonderful advocacy group. And like I said, I enjoy very much being able to serve at this time. And by the way, this is my blue. I got in at 11:30 last night, so I was a little scattered this morning, and then I have time to go get my blue NUSA shirt. So this is my blue deflection. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, congratulations. Okay. Yes, go ahead, Director Adcock.
Attend the workshop about Keep Kids Alive, Drive 25, He's from Capitol View Stiff Station, and I think that he wants to look at having some of these in his neighborhood and other neighborhoods so that we can have our children safer. Thank you, Robert, for bringing it.
We go to get ideas. Here's an idea. It won't work in front of my Billy Mitchell Boys and Girls Club because the speed limit is 20. I need a new meme, and I'm going to be looking for more signs.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Okay, at this time, I'd like to recognize a young man that's in our audience today, Hunter Carlton with Troop 18 of First United Methodist Church. Hunter, you want to stand up? Come on up to the microphone. I know I'm surprising you. I'm pull that microphone down. Tell us where you go to school.
I go to school at Eastham Public Charter School.
Very good. What grade are you in?
I'm going into 8th.
And tell us what kind of merit badge you're working on.
I am working on the communications and citizenship and the community merit badges.
Well, good. Congratulations. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
And do you have somebody with you?
My dad.
Your dad? Hi there, Mr. Carlton. Thank you for bringing him. You bet.
Mayor,
Good
Mayor-
luck to you, Hunter.
Hunter, if you'd stand up just a second, if the board would look, the patch on its right pocket means he's in the order of the arrow. It's an elected position. It's the Brotherhood of Honored Campers. He had to do several requirements. And the heart on the left pocket is life, which means he only has one more rank to go for Eagle, and both of these merit badges are required for that.
Well, you're going to earn them at a very young age, Hunter, it looks like. Congratulations. Okay, we can now move on to our consent agenda. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read items 1 through 9 on the consent agenda.
The consent agenda consists of a motion to approve the minutes of the April 18, 2017 and May 2, 2017 Little Rock City Board of Directors meetings and the April 25, 2017 Little Rock Board of Directors reconvened meeting, a resolution to transfer title to Greater Paradise Covenant Church via warranty deed for property sold by the City of Little Rock, Arkansas to be used for neighborhood revitalization programs and for the purposes, a resolution transfer title to Carl Akins Jr. via warranty deed for property sold by the City of Little Rock, Arkansas to be used for neighborhood revitalization programs and for other purposes. A resolution to accept title to property donated to the City of Little Rock, Arkansas by quitclaim deed to be used for neighborhood revitalization programs and for other purposes. A resolution to transfer title to Greater Trinity Church of God in Christ via warranty deed for property sold by the City of Little Rock, Arkansas to be used for neighborhood revitalization programs and for the purposes. Resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into agreement contract with Optiv in an amount not to exceed $80,016.40 plus applicable taxes for licensing renewals and support for Checkpoint Next Generation firewalls to assist with the security of the city's network locations and for the purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to award a contract to Redstone Construction Group Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $132,520.32 for the Fox Chapel Cul-de-sac Drainage Improvement Project and for the purposes. Funding from the 2012 3/8 capital improvement sales tax and the 2013 limited tax general obligation capital improvement bonds. A resolution authorized the city manager to award a contract to Burke-Halter Technologies Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $107,217.60 for the Gunpowder Road Drainage Improvement Project and for the purposes. Funding from the 2012 3/8 capital improvement sales tax and the 2013 limited tax general obligation capital improvement bonds. A resolution authorized the city manager to enter into agreement with U.S. Able to provide long-term disability benefits to all non-uniform employees of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes. That concludes the consent agenda.
Question, Mayor.
There's a motion and a second to adopt the consent agenda. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. The consent agenda is adopted. Director Richardson?
Thank you, Mayor. Bruce or Victor, on resolution number 2, turn me off, dude. The property we're talking about at Greater Paradise, is that property south of the church, or is it northwest of the church? Victor?
May I ask Mr. Turner or Doug? Mr. Tat, straight north.
North? Thank you.
Okay, we can now move on to the grouped items. I do have a card in favor of item 11. Let's go ahead and read them, and then I'll ask Mr. Price if he still wishes to speak on it.
An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the area west of Interstate 430 and south of Chenal Parkway, Canis Road, within the city's planning jurisdiction and for other purposes. An ordinance to condemn certain structures in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas with structural fire and health hazards, to provide for summary abatement procedures, to direct city staff to take such action as necessary to raise and remove said structures, to declare an emergency. First reading.
There's a motion and a second to suspend the rules and place these ordinances on second reading. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Second reading, please.
An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the area west of Interstate 430 and south of Chenal Parkway and Canis Road within the city's planning jurisdiction. An ordinance to condemn certain structures in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas with structural fire and health hazards, to provide for summary abatement procedures, to direct city staff to take such action as is necessary to raise and remove said structures, to declare an emergency. Second reading.
Move to suspend the rules and place on third and final reading.
Is there a second? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Second reading, please.
An ordinance to amend the land use plan in the area west of Interstate 430 and south of Chenal Parkway, Canis Road within the city's planning jurisdiction. An ordinance to condemn certain structures in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas with structural fire and health hazards, to provide for summary abatement procedures, to direct city staff to take such action as is necessary to raise and remove said structures, to declare an emergency. Third and final reading.
Mr. Price, are you present? Yes, sir. Are you wishing to speak in favor of the demolition ordinance or against? If you'd come to the microphone, please. Thank you.
I have a structure located on Alter Road that I have sold to a gentleman out of Hot Springs. I need an additional 60 days to get all the paperwork and everything done, and he wants to do the same thing you want to do to the house on the property.
Which structure is it?
On Alter Road,
The mobile home.
no, sir, it's ma'am, it's a house. That's my understanding.
This is, you look at you see the photograph? Is
Yes.
that the structure?
Yeah, that's a mobile home, and that's been given to me by the person that's buying the property. He has given me that mobile home. I just have been at the VA and I have a lot of work done at the hospital, and I haven't had a chance to get off of there, but I will if I can get 60 days to get all this accomplished.
What are you wishing to do with the property?
I have it, gentleman out of Hot Springs, Arkansas, that is wishing to buy the property.
Mr. Carter, would you go ahead and show the rest of the photographs, please?
That's the house right there. What we're talking about.
Is that gentleman here with you this evening by chance?
No, sir, he's not. I tried to get in touch with him. I was unable to do so, but I do have some legal people that are working on getting in touch with him and getting all the paperwork drawn up.
Do you have legal title to this property?
Yes, sir, I do.
How long have you owned it, sir?
About 5 to 10 years, something like that.
When's the last time it was occupied?
About 6 months ago.
And are you requesting or asking for a 60-day extension?
Just for a 60-day extension, yes, Your Honor.
And you're gonna do what?
I have the property that the gentleman out of Hot Springs is gonna buy the property. That includes the house and the mobile home. And he said that I could have the mobile home and.
Is there a house on this property as well?
Yes, there is.
All right, thank you, Mr. Price.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes, Director Adcock, you're recognized.
Mr. Price said that he was going to move this mobile home. that the man's going to give him this mobile home to move. And I was wondering if Mr. Turner knows what year this mobile home is, because it may not be able to be moved. And where is the house on this property?
Right in front of the mobile home. Right in front of the mobile home. About, I'd say about 200 yards away, maybe.
Mr. Moore, does staff have any information on this?
Mr. Garland to come forward.
I'd say the gentleman that's wanting to buy the property is wanting to tear down the house anyway. And of course, remove the mobile home. He's gonna give it to me to remove. I'm not sure, sir. I think it's about 1978, somewhere around in there, 75, 78.
You can't move it at that point. Ed, go ahead.
Well, I know you can't have it in the city of Little Rock because it's become, but I'm just gonna remove it to another piece of property in the other county.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. You can have a seat if you will,
Thank you.
please.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Mayor, members of the board, Director Adcock. In order to identify the age of a mobile home, the tongue that's usually used to tow it is where they would put the year, manufactured year. Many of the ones we encounter now, it's very difficult to tell. We're very familiar with this particular park and this particular owner in that we continue to have issues with substandard homes. We have no problem with Mr. Price or the buyer demolishing the home. What staff would like is that at least if they didn't keep their commitment, we would already have condemnation approval and wouldn't have to come back before you.
What kind of condition is the house in?
It's, without having taken photos, but it's in not really good shape as well.
That's what I was thinking.
And it is my understanding that Mr. Price wants to sell the parcel of land that includes that home as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Price, did you have something else, sir?
Yes. Basically, the house, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, was replumbed and partially rewired and brought up to code. And I've had some people in there since then. Of course, it kind of went the other way. It would still probably meet code or on plumbing and structure, but there's some other issues that people that have broken into the house, etc. And like I say, the new owner is wanting to buy the property and wants to tear down the house. And I would not have a problem with agreeing that if in 60 days I don't get this all resolved, that could be done.
Thank you, Mr. Price. Mr. Carpenter, do you have a comment?
Well, I was just curious, are the house and the mobile home paid for now? And
He indicates both of the house and the home are paid for.
the reason I ask is that if it had a VA loan on it, that might have had an implication. But in all honesty, as I understand it, we would let out a bid to get the things demolished. If he can get it done before then that would be great, and we wouldn't put a lien on it. And if he can't, we wouldn't. So I think that you might want to consider that.
Mr. Price, what I hear Mr. Carpenter saying is that if this property is condemned, there would be 60 days at least before any action would be taken by the city.
No, we would start the bid process. I don't think it'd go 60 days. It may go 30. I'm looking back at Ed.
All I'm saying, if you give me 60 days to get all this resolved, I have no objection to whatever you want to do.
I think that's what I was about to say, is that, Mr. Garland, come forward if you would, please. So, if this property is condemned, today, will it be 60 days before you would let a bid or have a contractor actually there to tear it down?
As soon as we have an ordinance number, we then move toward the bid process, which generally can take, by the time we're ready to award the bid, about 30 days, 45 at most.
And then how long does it take? I mean, usually you have multiple houses on those bids?
We could, yes, sir. Generally, though, based on the number of contractors we have, no one contractor generally wins all, in this case, let's say 5 properties.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there a motion by any of the board members on this matter? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to a vote on ordinances 10 and 11. All in favor of the passage of those ordinances indicate by saying aye. Opposed, say nay. And on the emergency clause on ordinance number 10, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, say nay. The emergency clause is also passed. Mr. Price, it sounds like you've got about 30 days, maybe a few more, to try and get your owner to come in and get this matter
He
taken
said
care of.
10.
Okay?
I have to do the contract and everything else, but
He said 10.
as usual, I do y'all.
Mayor,
Sir?
I might have misheard you, but I think you said emergency clause on item number 10. And
No, I
it's-
said on number 11. The emergency clause is on item 11. Let me restate it then, just to make sure the record is clear. All in favor of the emergency clause on ordinance number 11 indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. The ordinance, the emergency clause is also passed. Okay, we are prepared to go into executive session for the purpose of appointments. Sorry, Director Hendricks?
Mr. Moore, I was at a neighborhood meeting, and I intended to give you a copy of this
If you,
thing. Oh, God. Thank you. It's the infrastructure project request form. This was brought to this East End meeting. How can individuals pick this up? Is this supposed to be mailed, or what is this all about? This came from Director Adcock.
I think you were here, but I announced maybe two meetings ago that we were taking applications.
No, that's not my question. How can citizens come and get this?
They can go to the alert centers. They can go online and get it. That's what we've encouraged people to do.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
okay, I do have 4 citizen communication cards. Is there anyone that wishes us to go ahead and do citizen communication first before we go into executive session?
So, second.
There's a motion and a second to go ahead and amend the agenda to take care of citizen communications next. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Very good. First card is from Henry Droughter. Mr. Droughter?
Droughter.
Droughter?
Droughter.
Both are close enough, thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to address you. My issue is with respect to what I consider the shoddy construction on Adams Street from the interstate to 12. And I've spoken about my concerns to you, Director Adcock, and I called the number that you gave me and didn't get a return call. If I missed it and you can update me, I would appreciate it.
What's going on?
This neighborhood and took information on some sod that was placed in this gentleman's yard, and I believe that is what he's here to see if there's been any results on that. So Mr. Jones would be the person who would have the update.
Well, may I expand? It's a bit more than just the sod.
Okay.
The sod is a part of it, but my contention is that the entire construction
Yep.
of Adams Street is flawed. It is flawed in terms of the way that water drains down the street instead of into the drain for which the construction was supposedly directed, and other areas like that. The contractor put down topsoil, and it rained, and the topsoil was washed away. The contractor didn't replace the topsoil. He put the sod on top of the rocky ground. What sod was left? As I mentioned, the contractor delivered sod to the job site and left it there for 4 or 5 days before he returned to put it in place. And Midnight Landscapers liberated about 3 pallets of the sod and left gaps in the work that could be done. In fact, I have some images that I'd like to share with you and Mr. Richardson, since it's in his district, to show the problem with the water flow and the gaps in construction. And finally, one of the things that the contractor did was left his form in a driveway and didn't remove it and put sod directly on top of it. And the dirt from the sod, the grass is dying. It was dying when these photos were taken. It's dead now. May I show?
Yes, you may. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Mayor, these was the items that Mr. Jones and I saw and that he made a note of to contact the Public Works people about.
And that's what I had heard, that it was a little bit bigger than just a sod. So we'll, Jamie in his old hat and John, we will go out and look at it and we'll prepare a report and get back to you.
Now, will the report come to me, or is there a place that I come to get the report? Will it?
We'll
be posted
send.
online?
I'll get you a copy.
Thank you very much.
The next card I have is from Lancey Gaston.
Hi, this is my very first board meeting, so I'm here to observe, and I also gathered that this would be an appropriate time and place to introduce, you could say, the organization I'm informally representing. I'm an alumni of the Arkansas School for the Blind and Visually Impaired. I'm now a current client with World Services for the Blind. I'm also a staff member at the Firehouse Hostel and Museum on the weekends. I'm here to, I'd really like to ask suggestions as far as how we can strengthen ties in the community for World Services in particular. I notice there aren't a lot of, the majority of the community does not know about our facility. It's lesser known, even though it's been here for a very long time. And if you have any, just any suggestions that we could use as far as getting our name out there, as far as graduates, we have, people are trained in the IT fields, finance, customer service. So we really try to provide applicable job skills in today's market. So if there's anything you could offer in the way of making these connections, it would be much appreciated.
Well, thank you, Lancey, and certainly social media provides some opportunities for us to take organizations like yours and really promote them, and we will talk with our communications folks about how we can maybe help you with that.
Right.
It's a wonderful facility. I've been to it many times, and the training that you do is absolutely wonderful for people that are visually impaired. I happen to run into people occasionally whose parents and grandparents were trained at the World Services for the Blind.
Right.
And so the reputation is throughout the country. It's very good.
Definitely. And thank you again for allowing this meeting to take place. And I'm happy to be here and glad to observe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, Director Hendricks, go ahead.
You were talking so soft. What do you, is that at the blind school where you are?
Yes, I'm currently at the World Services for the Blind.
Where's that located? On West Markham?
It's on Fair Park, 2811 Fair Park Boulevard.
Okay. Okay,
Right. Come by and see us.
I will.
Thank you. Any more questions for myself?
Thank you, Lancy.
Thank you.
Joe Roach. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you again, Mayor, and thanks for coming out of the park this weekend.
You bet.
You know, it's a little more climate acceptable in here, you know, this evening. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Roach. Just think your average Joe, and my last name is the French word for rock. You may have heard of it. And I'm new in this town. Not only am I new in Little Rock, I'm new in the great state of Arkansas, and I'm recently back in the Central Time Zone. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. Little tiny town, third largest city in the country. And like I said, Mayor, I told you on Saturday, think you have headaches. That combined city and county government budget is $7.1 billion. Yeah, yeah. And as some of you may be aware, I was recently appointed as the general manager of the Firehouse Hostel and Museum in MacArthur Park. That, of course, is a city-owned building, was the fire station starting 100 years ago in 1917. One of our items on display is a large automatic sprinkler fire gong donated by Dr. Dean Campiris, and thank you for that. That's the first thing everyone that comes in there sees. And Sir Mayor, I'd also like to thank the Little Rock Parks and Rec Department for really helping me out while I'm new, specifically Matt Gardner, who has been just a treasure trove to me, just tremendous support from him. The CVB, Convention Visitors Bureau, I've got to thank them, Gretchen Hall, for putting us on the map. We are now a dot on the tear-off map. We're number 39. That tear-off map, our guests, they just love it. And the guests that I regularly see that stay in the hostel, you know, we'll have some international students over at UALR taking a week-long course or 2 weeks or something. A lot of Europeans right now out road tripping, and they just stop by here, you know, Little Rock kind of impromptu. It wasn't in their plans, but I've never heard someone not say how much they love this city. They'll spend 2 nights. They'll stay 2 or 3 nights. You know, they're at Clinton. They're at Stone's Throw. They're down on the river. You know, they just love this little town. And so I'd just like to let you know that even to date, it's only been open since this past August. We've hosted travelers from just about all 50 states, and something along the lines of 4 dozen foreign countries, which is, that's a lot. There's less than 300 total, you know. And tomorrow, I'd like to invite you all to come on out. I know it's short notice, 3 p.m. tour tomorrow, hosted by our curator, retired Little Rock Fire Captain Johnny Reap. So open invitation, anyone can come, yourself, your staff members, media if they want to come, any city employees.
Very good, Joe. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Good to see you.
We're glad to have another rock in the city. Okay, the next card is from Herb Rule. Welcome, Herb.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, Board of Directors, thank you for your service. I'm not here to talk about the homeless. I'm here to talk about money, if that's all right. And I'm here to ask you to consider some other approaches rather than spending $60,000 or so a year transporting the homeless from their luncheon place, evening place, under the Broadway Bridge out to, near Sweet Home. Actually, it's 3300 Springer Boulevard. And rather than doing that, I think there's some things that could be done that would help and that would still give the sense of our compassion towards the homeless here in Little Rock in our efforts while the study's going away for a longer-term development to realize that the homeless are people, and that I have a little bit of cred myself because I'm one of the founders of the Stew Pot, which has been feeding hungry people at First Presbyterian Church downtown for 40-plus years. And we feed about 150 people a day, cost about $2.19 a day, 45,000 plus people a year. So most, I wouldn't say most, I'd say a majority of the people that we serve are homeless people. And they come for lunch. And it was a great gift that the group of churches that did like our group of churches started feeding in the evening in a downtown location that was accessible by foot to people that are homeless and hungry. So here's the thought. I'm not going to quote Bible to you. I'm not going to remind you of that passage that said, I was hungry and you gave me food. And I'm not going to try to shame you by reminding you of the German leader who expelled a whole religious group from his country into poverty and to concentration camps. But what I would like to do is to say, can you give a little bit more study to the homeless problem before we move them from where they've been operating, serving people under the bridge to the spot out in on Springer Boulevard. It's an appropriate spot. If you'll take a look under the bridge, and you can't quite tell, but it's a vast space under the off-ramp of the bridge, and it would be and some of the other things, it'd be very easy to put up a high hedge that would block any kind of a transfer into the River Market area, and to ask the River Market people who object, to be a part of that plan, as well as the people that are there living in the area and have businesses along North Street. So I hope you would consider that. I don't think it's been presumed so far, and it would save the city this money and give us an opportunity to say, let's come up with a problem that serves the hungry. I think there are other churches that are willing to serve evening meals in the downtown area where the homeless are.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Herb.
Yeah.
The next card I have is Cheryl Warden.
Honorable Mayor Stola, good evening. City Board Directors, good evening. Esteemed City Manager. What I have is a compliment real quick. I've had about 7 piles of trees. I have not had to call 311. And I just would like to thank Public Works. I'd like to thank Mr. Honeywell. I don't know how they do it. I finally caught the group that just somehow or another is always there to keep my property from looking bad. Although I'm working alone with it, it really is encouraging to me that when I look at those piles in the evening and then maybe a day or two, they're gone. So I really want to thank all of you for Public Works, but particularly Mr. Honeywell and his crew. So what I did, in the 6th pile, I was able to get some names, and I'd like to say Route 430. And that would be Reverend Derek Straw, Mr. Robert Lewis, and William Smith. And I thank these gentlemen, and I'm sure other people are getting the same kind of courtesy. But I have not had to call 311. Thank you, all of you.
Well, thank you, Cheryl. I think Mr. Honeywell's hiding in the back over there, and I'm sure he'll get the thank you to the crew that were able to pick up that last pile for you. Yes. Director Hendricks, did you want to be recognized, please?
That's my neighbor. And I think all of you all know me by now. I live on the same street that she lives on. And I think Bruce knows how often I have to call about these trucks. Bypassing stuff that's sitting on the curb sometimes for weeks, Cheryl. So maybe you sort of caught this at another time, but I call all the time about things that are not picked up. Cheryl, just right across the street, we had where that family sat everything on the curb, even the house, almost.
That should have been handled through mediation, and you should have been involved. They should not have had to move.
Right, we took care of it. Yeah, we
Should
took
not
care
have
of it.
had to relocate. And it was a big family with a lot of cars. Mayor, please excuse me. Bruce, excuse me.
But Cheryl, we'll let you and your neighbor, have that dialogue and discussion after the meeting.
Oh, well, we know each other real well.
I can tell.
But I would really love for Mr. Moore to consider giving these people more pay.
Bruce said he did.
Director Campuris.
Before we go into executive session, could I ask you and Bruce and John in the next month or so to bring us a review of the way we do streets expansion on major intersections and see if we can come back with some options so we can have a board discussion on that issue on major roads and how we need to expand them.
You want to know what the current ordinances and policies are for how we improve roads to our master street plan?
Things like that, how we do that, and to see if we want to continue that practice and if there's other methods we can do to try to resolve these issues, because we're getting ready to create a mishmash specifically in that area. And it's not a problem that's limited to that one area. It's all over the city. This is a city policy, and we need to discuss if we want to maintain this policy. That's all I want to do. I'm not saying we need to change it. I just want to discuss it.
Yeah, I think everybody just want to make sure that's the direction you wanted to go in. Director Wright, you're recognized.
Mayor, I just want to let you know that I concur because Bowman is a major road in my ward, and the constituents that live in that area want to see it improved, but the cost associated at the current level that staff would bring it up to is just, $14 to $18 million, which is almost like something we're never going to get done. So I concur. We definitely need to review that to see if there's anything that we can do to make that a little less stringent.
All right, Director Wyrick.
I think I heard Irma saying it's citywide, and I agree. We have some streets where there are 2 lanes, and then there are 2.5 lanes, and then there are 4 lanes, and then they go to 2 lanes. It's a safety issue. I'm sure on some of these streets, if you would look at the number of accidents that you see, that'd be tremendous amount. So I think our current plan is that if it's developed, then the developer has to do half-street improvements. But it's an unsafe issue for our people traveling these streets. So, yeah, I'm ready to talk. Thank you, Dean, for bringing that up.
Okay, before I take a motion to go into executive session, I would think we might lose some of our audience. I want everyone to know that on Thursday at 2:00, there's going to be a press conference here in City Hall downstairs to discuss with the public a comprehensive plan that is focused on violence reduction and also an action plan for the revitalization of our neighborhoods. Many of these things are things we're doing already. They oftentimes get lost in the shuffle of some of the things that make the headlines, as we've seen recently. And there's many things that we need to let the public know that we are doing, and some new areas as well. So very important, and I'd like to invite everyone to be there on Thursday at 2:00. I do understand that a couple of our board members are going to be on vacation, but they're very supportive of this, and I would love to have our staff and our board members that are here to be there on Thursday at 2:00. Thank you. Director Hendricks.
Since you brought it up, I had really put my little note away about the article that was in today's paper that was relevant to the crime and all this that's going on in the city. And I want the public to know that it was stated in the article by one of our directors that it's left up to Bruce and whomever. But I feel as a board member, I have responsibility to address whatever it is that's going on in this city, which I will do. So you can just count me out of that group where Director Adcock said that it's their responsibility, which is Bruce, Mr. Moore. It's in today's paper. I don't know how many of us take the Democratic Gazette, not too many of us. So I just want, since I have this mic to speak to you, I have a right to do if I want to. In fact, I will be meeting with the chief as an individual. That's my right.
Director Richardson, you're recognized, please.
Yes, Mayor, motion to go in executive session for boards and commitments.
Is there a second to go into, second? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We're going to be in recess to go into executive session for the purpose of board appointments. Okay, we are back in session to take care of some appointments to boards and commissions. The first one is our Historic District Commission, and I would like to appoint Jeremiah Russell. Is there a motion to confirm?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. He is reappointed as the architect on the Historic District Commission. On the Little Rock Port Authority, I'd like to reappoint Joseph Bailey.
So moved. Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. He is confirmed. On the Little Rock Water Reclamation Commission, I'd like to appoint Chris Marsh.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. He is confirmed. On the Oakland Fraternal Historic Cemetery Park Board, I'd like to reappoint Richard Butler and Francis Ross. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, say nay. Both Francis and Richard are reappointed. And on the Racial and Cultural Diversity Commission, I would like to appoint William Torrance to the Ward 7 position, and I'd like to appoint Rachel Bournet to the Ward 1 position. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Mayor, I believe you appointed Rachel to the at-large position.
That's correct. Oh, I'm sorry.
And we were going to re-advertise wards 1, 2, and 4.
Yeah, okay. Well, Rachel Bournet to the at-large position and William Torrance to the Ward 7 position. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, say nay. They're confirmed, and we will re-advertise wards 1, 2, and 4. If there's no other business to come before the board, is there a motion to adjourn? Second. There's a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, say nay. Thank you. We're in adjournment.